putting on, basically what happened is I bought a kit to put this on, put an installation kit, but since the threads are so far in, it wouldn't fit. So I got a bigger bolt. You see the shiny bolt? It's about an inch longer. It is, you need to know the size. It's a M14 dash with a 18, let's see, sorry, with a 1.5 millimeter threading on it. So it's an M14 with a 1.5 thread. Anyway, and then I got these. These are all stainless steel, so they're going to be pretty tough if I need them at all. So I'm just going to start out by putting this up. I've already threaded this bolt in. Make sure that this will go in. Hopefully I don't bottom out. Looks like I'm white, so I'm going to put on at least, I can feel about 2 to 3 washers. Through the stainless steel. I'm also going to figure out the size of this. Not the same size as the. Yeah, the head is definitely smaller than the stock head. So. It's a 22 millimeter head. So we're just gonna. So a lot of people say to tap it. There's not really any room in here to tap. So I'm just gonna thread it, and I'm gonna hold it semi-steady, and I'll start cranking it down with the. And I have to hold it still a little bit. The crank just wants to go. So I'll back this off. Put on a couple more washers. Until I feel that the stock crank will. If you have one of those chain tools that'll hold it still, probably the best way to do it. Let's see if that's short enough for the standard bolt to go in. Still not, so I'm just going to keep working at it. And I've got a pulley. Since I've got the tool for the crank, I'm actually going to put that on as well. So I've got this bearing that will help out. That's part of the other kit. So grab and hold, barely. The bearing's nice because it twists with the, yeah, it's pulling it in. Pulling it in, it's pulling it in slow, but it's pulling it in. So, the reason you don't want to tap on that is because you've got crankshaft bearings that are sensitive. You start banging on that and you're going to start messing them up to the point of you're probably going to want to replace the crankshaft bearings, and I don't want to replace the crankshaft bearings. So put on a few more washers here. Let's see where I'm at, see if it'll twist in. It's not, so it's too many. These are about I said they were around a mil thick. See there? There's about 3 in there now, I think. Just do it a little bit at a time. Definitely a job that takes patience. Put a couple more on. This box came with about 25 of them. Oh yeah, and this end one's bending, obviously, so for stainless steel. See, again, we've got too many. Those washers had about that thick. Let's see here. Not quite there yet. These washers are definitely bending. So they're not very thick, so. Put on about 2 at a time. Exactly. And with patience, you'll get it. It takes a while. And basically see if it'll fit. I can thread this one in now. So close. And yet so far. Anyway, we'll see in a bit. Alright, so that crankshaft is back in. Crankshaft pulley. It's approximately lined up. Should be pretty good to go. I could start it at this point, in theory. But I'm going to put on the newer fan that I've got. And I got some stainless steel bolts that are nuts that for the water pump. And I didn't want to have any problems with them. Anyway, stainless stainless steel, non-magnetic, very nice. Pop them up there on the battery. And I do need the pulley, obviously. Don't forget the pulley because that goes around the alternator. Pulley there, and you get the line up pretty close. And then you just put them on one at a time, obviously. And these ones are, these ones have the serrated backing on them, and that's to keep them tight if there's any vibration. I did that for the radiator mounts too, they're the exact same size. Put that up in place. Make sure these are tightened. I'm going to twist it 90 degrees. Same thing, because it's easier to reach down, even though it looks like it's a pain. It's easier than what it would be if I didn't. There's some light. These are 10mm heads, I believe. Pretty much consistent with the rest of the 10mm that are on this. You want to take a long screwdriver, preferably like a straight head, standard, and grab got my snap-on socket here. Just want to put it in between where, oh look, it won't fit. So obviously you need either a ratcheting head box end or just a standard box end. So we'll see if this one fits. Can it? See the ratcheting end, unless you get the shorties, which I think Mac or Snap-on make, will not fit. So use my Met wrench set from the 90s. Just rotate it to the next one. And if you don't put the screwdriver in there, it'll twist. How pros do it. In theory, I'm a pro. In theory. And twist it 90 degrees and work on the next one. There's no easy way, no around way to do these. You just kind of have to do them as you see them. I do it until it feels like it's digging into the aluminum, basically. That new shaft is aluminum. And it's just hand tight. It's probably about 10 to 20 pounds of inch pounds. It's not that much. I've got the new pulley on here. I've got the new crankshaft pulley. So it feels weird because I've been playing guitar. It doesn't feel quite right anymore. I've got the belt. But you want to put the power steering belt on first, obviously, because that's it goes from the back, from the engine. It goes power steering, alternator, air conditioning. I'm not putting on air conditioning. You see how loose this is, and I've drained the system, so there's no reason to put it on. I've got a brand new belt. Brand new belt for this because I ended up cutting. I couldn't figure out the pulley system on the this one does not go around the fan. This is the power steering. It goes around the crank and then it goes around the power steering pump. This one I'll probably have to back it off because it's a brand new belt. Close. Not close enough. So back that off and then we'll start videoing again. Alright, so we got the alternator belt on, I got the power steering belt on. I basically just used a 1/4 inch ratchet with a 10mm, or sorry, a 12mm on it. These are pretty much all, this is a 12, I believe this one's a 12, anything that adjusts the belt. And then the pulleys are 15s, I believe. This one says 14. So 14mm. So 14, 14, 12, 12, and 12 on the bottom. And the power steering pump, lost for words, the power steering pump bolt also a 12. So I'm about to put in the radiator. Move this out because I was thinking, oh, I could start it without, you know, having to hook up anything. And in theory you can if the transmission is not connected. If the transmission is connected, fluid will go everywhere. So I am going to put the radiator back in and then reconnect basically all the hoses. I need to do a flush on this. This is really, you can see how powdery and icky it is. I have to do a chemical flush on that. And I still need the container to drain it into. I don't want to drain it on the ground. But here we are. Next. Radiator. Never thought we'd see the day. I think I started this in October, right? And usually a couple this goes into lined up with the holes and the grommets. That one's lined up and then this one just needs to be guided in. I probably have to do it from the bottom. Oh, no, it's in there. Gotcha. So, and now this is dripping transmission, so there's still training fluid in it. Move it over. Put it up on the ground. My pans are not wide enough, obviously. And then, got these two stainless steel connecting, you know, and figure out where my other. That one doesn't quite reach down. I am going to bend it. Not exactly sure where the other unit went, so I'm going to have to figure that out before we proceed. Yeah, spin it down. Got the rubber grommets in there. And I will finger tighten this one here. See where it went. I found it. Since I put it over here next to the headlight, it decided to make its way down to the headlight. So, and you want to make sure that you put the right ones on the right side. So, I believe since this one has a things on it. That one's going to fit just fine without bending it. And another nice thing about this stainless is it will not it'll strip the, if you think you're getting it not tight enough, don't over tighten stainless steel because you will strip the steel studs. So just want to get it decently tight. Probably about 10 to 15 inch-pounds. And that one does look like it needs to be bent after it's been tightened down. So I will just take my tools here. I just basically have a couple wrenches that I use. You put one in one end. The end you want bent down. And that one, then you bend this other one. Like this. Might have to bring this out to kind of grab hold of everything. And hopefully that did something. So when I got it, it was loosey-goosey completely. So that should be good. And it's a 10 millimeter. You don't want to crank it down. Anyway, so that's in, and we'll connect some radiator hoses, and got my stainless steel clamps. This one's already done, so we're good there. Gotta do the lower one, and these are 1/2 inch wide. When you get, if you order your clamps online, you have to get either half or it's like 5. Let's see, not 5. It's like 9/16 wide. So definitely take note, because I ordered some clamps and they were all a little more than the 1/4 inch thick. They were not that thick at all. So pause just a minute and we'll grab the hoses. So I've got these radiator hoses. This is obviously the bottom, this is obviously the top. If they're too long, you cut them to fit. And I'm actually going to wait to install the top and install the bottom first, because I believe it goes that way, because of the you can lube these with coolant. I usually try and dry fit them first, but you want to obviously put the clamps on before you put the hose on. You leave the hoses on. I got two different sizes of stainless steel clamps. You can see just a slight difference, because these ones are bigger on the top, even though these smaller ones would fit. I'm actually just going to put the bigger ones on the top. Let's see, out here, I want it that way, right? And then that one down there, and I want it up like this, or down, or down on that same side. Just kind of put them on there. And you can go through the bottom, which I probably will end up doing. Let the clamps don't fall off. And then we'll go in this one here. I'm going to have to move the camera. So we'll go back to that point. Alright, so we can see now. Look down there. You can see the radiator hose is attached. We're just going to work on the top one right now, which is this right here. And then you can easily figure out, okay, does it go this way? It looks like it goes that way. This way would be a little off on both sides, so definitely this way. I put the clamp out like this, so it's easy to get to right here. And then this one, I'm going to actually put it this way, so that the tail comes out away from the radiator cap, because these are sharp, definitely sharp. And again, if you need to lube it, I had to lube the bottom hose to get it to fit onto the little radiator hose connection. I do it hard on that one because this one's going to be easy and this one will break. So you always do the hard one first, and then you need to work it a little bit. It's easier. And then just slip that on as good as you can. If you have to pull it off of the other side, because that one's really long, just until it butts up there. And looks like we're lined up correctly here. In fact, I could probably do it to where it's like that, but I'm gonna put it out like that. And got my little clamp tool, so that you can only tighten it so much. Obviously, you don't want to over tighten these. It'll either damage the hose or it will damage the clamp. So okay, that's pretty tight. This one I'm just going to bring it. You want to put it on here because this section here is larger than that, and if you tighten it up to this, there's a chance that it won't tighten to this other. So I'm not very left-handed, except for ratchets. Feel where that bulb comes out on the radiator. And put it about a 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch after that. And see how this sticks out? I'm actually going to bring this out a little bit so I can twist it. A little bit more, obviously. And so I'm going to do that so it'll face down so I won't hit it with my hand when I go to take off the radiator cap. Maybe I'll just do it right here. These are stainless steel. The screw is, I think it's 3/18. The clamps are 3/18, so it's about as tight as I want to get it. And then obviously, when you start it up, when you've got coolant in it, you want to check for leaks. This is going to be a dry start. There's oil in the crankcase. Dry start meaning that there's no coolant in the coolant system. Coolant system. Anyway, let's I don't have my keys on me, so let me go grab my keys really quick. Alrighty, well here's to hoping that it starts. And runs right. I think it'll start, just then run right. So I had to reconnect all the intake, which I didn't do on the previous video. But let's see what she does. She is a whatever. I don't have any. It has everything to do with that knock sensor and the old gas that's in it. So I was just looking. I put new fuel hoses on when I redid that one valve cover gasket. So other than that, because it sat unplugged from the battery for so long, it's going to have to rememorize basically drive cycles and what everything does. I'm actually going to disconnect the battery again because I've got more work I got to do on it. If you want to watch, it's right here underneath me. It's just a quick disconnect from Walmart for like $6. On the negative terminal, obviously. See, that one. Just lay it aside, put that one in so it doesn't do anything. Anyway, that is pretty much it. We got it running. It's running right. Stinks, but again, the gas is old. Let's see. So we got it running right. It was rough idling, obviously, because there's a few things that it still needs. Needs that knock sensor, and there's really old gas in it. I mean, I've had this thing for almost 2 years, and it's just sat. So obviously the gas is bad. The computer's been unplugged from the battery so long that it's lost all of its, its memory. So not all of it, the memory that it needs to run the vehicle right. But it runs smooth compared to the last video, or the first video when I started it. Oh, I'll put a before and after just together in their own video so you can see the difference. And then I'll do another one. I'll do beginning, middle, and end when like the cooling system's flashed and everything, and it's ready to go for a test drive. So we'll see what happens. See you next time.